time with the fact you're not famous or finding new ways to achieve it. Confidence. Look no further. The search has stopped. Having a hard time fitting into the clothes you once wore, or finally realizing you're a whore. Look no further. It's your time now.
So I'm Rory from Voodoo Bloo, and I play the guitar and sing in the band. We're a bit of a alt rock, indie rock outfit out of New Zealand, and we've just had a new single come out called Hot Garbage, which is more in the punky realm of Viagra Boys and Idols. We're super stoked to have it out, and yeah.
Beautiful, Rory. Thanks for joining us today, brother.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's awesome.
My pleasure. So as you say, man, Voodoo Bloo recently released a single, Hot Garbage. Like, I know it hasn't been out that long, but how's the early reception been?
Yeah, the reception has been great. I think one thing that we've gotten pretty often with this single is that it's quite reminiscent of the stuff we were originally doing about 4 years ago, but it's just a level above sort of what we were doing, and it kind of from the people that I've spoken to has sort of shown a bit more maturity in what we're doing, even though I would like to say that the things that we're talking about are probably a lot less mature than they once were. But it's, I don't know, it's just really cool to hear that it's more what people like from us, but it's been taken into a completely different direction, and it sounds better than it has done before.
Oh, so let's go into that a bit deeper musically, mate. Like, it's more of a punk song than the rock song that you've been doing the last couple of years, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes down to like the last two albums, well, especially the last one that we did, being a lot about like themes and concepts and all of that kind of crap. But then I was like, wait a minute, nobody's gonna care. I need to put something out there that I am just having fun with. And if I can't show that I'm having fun on a record, then other people aren't going to be having fun with it either. So I think that was a really important part for me. Is I could obviously still write about things that matter, but I think just not being too hard on myself about like, oh, but this song needs to fit with this song in some thematic way, and I need to talk about these things. It's like, no, let's put down some really cool drums and guitar and bass, and let's just sing about what seems relevant at the time. So yeah.
Oh, now you say you've sort of gone back to your roots a little bit with the punk style. Like, did you actually sit down to write this song like that, or did it just sort of come out like that?
The song really started how a lot of songs off of what we're doing now has, and that is just by getting a drum machine to just play along to something really quickly. I'll layer in some bass, I'll layer in some guitar, and I'll just keep going like that. I think the drums are a lot more important than they have been on previous records. It's really just been about how the groove and the beat sort of make the song go along, rather than thinking about, oh, there's this cool riff or there's this cool vocal that I have. It's like, it's very much driven by the drums.
And you guys actually produced this song yourselves, mate. So what's some of the advantages and disadvantages of keeping that within the band?
Yeah, so I think time management is probably something that doesn't go too well, because we think, the producer's the drummer, we can get him in whenever we want to, you know, we're not paying for his time or anything like that. So I think maybe the song took a little bit longer than it should have to get out there, but I think that the real positive of it is you know, a producer leaves their mark on an album quite significantly, and in a way it becomes, even though they're your songs, it becomes their version of the record. It's their way of putting pen to paper, I guess, even though everything's been pre-made. And I think the real advantage of having the producer be us as a band is that we know what we think we should sound like, and that's what we have to portray, is what's in our heads. We don't have to explain to anybody else what's in our head. It just comes out and we go, does this sound right, does this sound wrong, and we go from there. So I definitely think it's a more authentic way of us making the songs.
Now, you plan to release 2 more singles in the lead up to your 3rd album, which comes out in June. So are the next 2 songs sonically similar? Like they're more down the punk road, or are they sort of a bit diverse?
So I'm having to try and think of which. Yes, so each song is, I would say, pretty wildly different from each other. Everything, it is also similar in the sense that it's just very, very chaotic and hard hitting. All of the songs on this record are like that. It is just continuously full force, very, very loud. But I think that we move you through some different places in these next two singles that are about to come up. Maybe a bit groovier and maybe a bit more happy on the one after. But yeah, that's sort of the vibe.
Oh, and tell us more about the album, mate. Have you got a title for it and a release date?
Yeah. So this we haven't announced it to everybody yet, so we know that there's more singles coming up, but it will be called Dead End Rodeo, and it will be coming out on June 7th. And yeah, it's, as I said before, very chaotic, very intense, and can't wait to share it with everybody when the time comes.
Now, I want to go into the punk side of things a bit more, mate. Like you've said that you've tried to return to your punk roots on the whole of the new EP. Like a lot of people say that punk's more of an attitude than a style of music. So how do you actually embrace that to go back to the punk style? Like, is it the attitude that you go into it with? Is it the attitude you write songs with? Or...
Oh man, I mean, I think it's such a tough thing. I mean, I think even in punk in itself is a bit paradoxical, right? Because from my understanding, punk is not, it's just anti-government and a lot of those sorts of things, and it's sort of anti-establishment, but punk in itself has sort of become an establishment. So what is the attitude at the end of the day? So I don't know. And I mean, you look at people like the Sex Pistols and like Fugazi, and they are both considered punk, and they don't really even fit into the same realm at the same time. They are their own elements. But I guess our punk roots, it definitely comes from the music more than any sort of attitude. It's I think everybody can hear when they hear a punk song is sort of my mindset about it. And I heard it for the first time and I was like, okay, this is a punk song, so
Yeah.
we'll go with that. With that.
Yeah. Now, Voodoo Bloo are still a relatively young band, having only started back in 2020, mate. So describe your musical journey as a band to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So a quick summary on it. The band was originally started out of the death of another band. If you've heard that story a million times before, it's anyway. So yeah, we initially started, and at the time, somebody who was pretty close to me passed away. And I just thought that it was pretty relevant to me at that point in time to get an album out. I always wanted to get an album out before I was 18. So I managed to do that with our first album in 2020. And like I said, Ghost 2 years ago, which UMI in 2022 as well. Pretty much consistently the same lineup up until last year. Bassist left to go to New York. We got a new bassist in, and then we have recorded this new project that'll be coming out soon. And it's it delves into both elements of the first two albums, but I think it builds on it so much more. And I think it's the best shit we've ever done.
Stuff. And you got some live shows planned to sort of break in the album?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're planning a New Zealand tour for sure. We're trying to figure out whether Australia is possible again, because I'd love to make it back over. It was super fun to do the shows that we did in 2022 to support the last album. So yeah, fingers crossed for that.
Beautiful, mate. All right, Rory. Well, thanks very much for your time today. The single Hot Garbage is out now. Can you tell us when the next single is going to be out so people can set their clocks?
Absolutely. So the next single will be out March 15th, called Cardboard Box Office. It's a lot groovier. Definitely takes more inspiration from like early 2000s sort of indie stuff. a la Arctic Monkeys or The Strokes, and that track's awesome, and I cannot wait for people to hear that as well.
No worries at all, brother. Well, you take care of yourself, mate. I look forward to hearing the new stuff, and hopefully you do make it back out here and we get to catch up for a beer.
Absolutely, that sounds great. Thank you so much for having me again.
Having a hard time with the fact you're not famous or finding new ways to achieve it. Confidence, look no further. The search has stopped. Having a hard time fitting into the clothes you once wore, or finally realizing you're a whore. Look no further. It's your time now. There's nothing to realize, can't figure out why you're dead inside. Stop your searching. This is new pill that'll fix everything. Realizing that you amount to nothing and your whole life was wasted on garbage. Well, fix yourself, fix yourself. You're the one that won the race. Garbage, fix yourself. Garbage, fix yourself. Taken to the bin to rot in hell, but you didn't have the chance to stay as well. Garbage, fix yourself. Garbage, fix yourself. Taken to